Well, the University of Rio Grande, they celebrated their fresh number 23 ranking in the National Coaches Poll on Wednesday by defeating Midway in their River States Conference opener. And tonight they are back at home for a little non-conference action, a return game from last year as they entertain the Cavaliers from Montreal College. Good evening, everybody. Randy Payton, happy to have you along for this broadcast of Rio basketball from Stretch Internet. Montreat coming in with a record of 8-4. Rio Grande is 9-1 after the win on Wednesday night. They snapped an 18-all deadlock by closing the first half on a 27-7 run. They never looked back, cruising to a 77-59 win over Midway on the road on Wednesday night. The victory also came without the services of the Red Storm's third leading scorer in junior guard Trey Robertson, who averages just under 15 a game. He missed the contest after suffering a foot injury in last Saturday's win over then number 9 University of the Cumberlands. Trey will not play again tonight. Midway led 15-12 9 minutes into the game, and the game was tied at 18 with 9:16 left in the first half. From by that point on, though, it was rough sledding for the host Eagles. The Midway hit just 3 of its final 16 shots in the first half while committing 5 turnovers during the same stretch. As Rio built a 45-25 halftime lead, the Red Storm's cushion reached its apex with 17-19 left to play when a layup by Kaylin Lasisi made it 51-27. But the Eagles did mount a rally to make things interesting for a bit. A 16-3 Midway run got the Eagles within 11 at 54-43 with 12:06 remaining. But Rio responded with 11 of the game's next 14 points to push the advantage back to 19, and the hosts got no closer than 14 the rest of the way. Ethan House led 4 double-digit scorers for Rio, a career-high 19, 14 of which came in the opening half. Jalen Johnson added 17. Jalen Fox had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 6 blocked shots, and Milan Square had 10 points. Eric Butler also had 9 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and a pair of blocked shots in the win. Montreat, they're coming off of a 112-60 loss to NCAA Division I Tennessee Martin last Saturday. That was an exhibition game. It did not count against their record. Their last countable game came on the 4th of December, a 110-83 win at home over St. Andrews. In that loss to UT Martin last Saturday, Lawrence Cole had 15 points, Jack Keller had 11 of his own, and Jordan Mays had 6 rebounds. The Cavaliers are under third-year head coach Anthony Behringer, and Rio under fifth-year head coach Ryan Arrowwood, 77-48 by way of a career record entering play tonight. And by the way, Coach Behringer, his overall mark is at 40-30. Two teams have met exactly once, and that was last year down in Montreat, North Carolina, just outside of Asheville. And Rio, a 58-55 winner on the 28th of October, 2023. We had a chance to speak with Rio head coach Ryan Arrowwood a little earlier. We'll hear from him when we come back in a moment. This is Rio basketball, and it's presented by Stretch Internet. Back here at the Newt Oliver Arena on this Friday night, little Friday night men's basketball action as the University of Rio Grande College. We're joined by Ryan. You guys coming off of a 77. I don't know. It was a conference game. You have to play it without Trey Robertson, but when all was
Yeah, I was really happy with, I thought we got punched in the mouth a little bit to start the game, and then I was really happy with how we responded. And then, they went on a run there. I didn't realize it was that big. It didn't feel like it. And then when I read your article, 16-3. I was really happy with how we responded to that run. Got some big contributions from the bench and got some big, some key plays from some guys, and was really, really happy with that. And quick turnaround here, and we, typically it would be a much lighter day on a Thursday after a game, but we've got this game, so we had to get in, get a pregame practice after getting back a little bit late on Wednesday night, and turn around and have a big challenge in front of us.
You mentioned contributions off the bench. Ethan House and Jalen Fox, those two in particular, huge.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan's, it feels bigger because it was his career high, but, if you've been watching us the last 4 games, he's been playing really, really good, and was huge down the stretch versus Cumberland. And, they had a couple games here where, played really good, really efficient basketball. You go back to Lindsey Wilson, he had that huge stretch. So he's playing really good. Jalen Fox, it's kind of the opposite. Ethan House is pretty consistent. We kind of know. Jalen Fox, you're not sure what you're going to get, but that's okay sometimes, because if you get what we get the other night, holy smokes. If we wanted to, we probably should have just put his highlights out, and that'd be a nice recruiting video, because, 3 dunks, 5 blocks, all of them in highlight fashion. And then, the thing he doesn't get enough credit, he just makes a lot of winning basketball plays. He's got a good basketball IQ. He passes guys open. He's a great cutter, really good feel for spacing. So, those 2 guys off the bench were really, really big for us. He didn't play a ton of minutes, but, I thought Branson Copas gave us really good minutes off the bench. And then our starters played really well. Kalen, but Key, he was not very good in the first half, but I thought he was really, really good in the second half. So a lot of good contributions, not really any bad spots, and that was how we got a win.
You mentioned if there was, outside of a slow start, if there was any kind of bugaboo from the other night, you had to be unhappy with, 14 or 15 turnovers.
Yeah, and that's back-to-back games. We were – I think we got jinxed. I was on a podcast, and they talked about, our turnovers, and talked about, looking back at the history of your program, man, you guys just really don't turn over the ball very much. I was like, yeah, that's one thing we've been really good at. We were really good at Taze Valley, and then sure enough, back-to-back games where we have over, I think 3 straight games now we've had double-figure turnovers. And that doesn't happen often. But I think some of it is they got us playing a little bit too fast early, so a lot of those turnovers happened early. Going back and watching them, I thought the second half, even the turnovers we had, we had 4 turnovers where we were trying to pass guys open where the ball went out of bounds. I'm going to live with those, wasn't happy with that, and hopefully we can correct that and, cut that thing down below 10.
You got a really talented opponent that you take on this evening in Montreal. They're 8-4, coming off of 110 points in a win over St. Andrews the other night, and 4 guys in double figures, and a lot of different people taking foe at you.
Yeah, I think they're averaging 80. Let me look here, 86.4, 84.9. Okay. 84.9. They're a top 10 scoring team in the country, and they play at an extremely fast pace. I think we're going to see some pressure on the defensive end. It's not necessarily so much to turn you over, but to speed you up. They want the tempo of the game to be high. They're going to let the ball fly in transition, right? They want to get early points. I think where they're the most dangerous though is on made shots. They're throwing that thing ahead and pushing the ball, and they're going to play a lot of guys. You're going to see 10 or 11 guys get quality playing time here. But with all that being said, they've got a 3-headed monster that's pretty good, right? Between Mays, Keller, and Baskerville, that's pretty good. And those 3 guys can knock down shots from the perimeter at a high clip. And that's been a bit of you said a bugaboo with the turnovers the other day. defending the three-point line has been a bit of a bugaboo for us so far this year. So if you're going to defend the three-point line, that means they're going to spread you out a little bit, and we're going to have to help, and we're going to have to recover. So they're going to put some pressure on our defense. I think us being able to execute on the offensive end and making them take the ball out as much as possible, that's going to be big.
You mentioned it remains to be seen who gets the win on the floor tonight, but the fact that they're here and playing tonight is a feather in their hat, no pun intended. They have a Cavalier that has a feather in his hat, but the fact that they're even playing basketball is huge.
I think that's a testament to their coaching staff, to their players, to their culture. For them to even field a team after going through what they've gone through, people that don't know, they were hit by the floods very, very hard, lost their gymnasium, and lost all equipment they had. They didn't have practice gear, game gear, shoe. They had nothing. And kind of practicing here and there, and no home games so far this year. Even their home games, they've got to play at UNC Asheville or somewhere else. So they've been on the road a lot. So for them to just field a team is saying something. But they're coming in here 8-4, right? And they've played a really, really tough schedule. They're a really good team, and we found that out last year. We narrowly escaped with the win at their place, but they're not. We talked to our guys a lot here recently about the emotional maturity it takes to go from being the hunter to the hunted, and that switch got flipped on us real quick. So we are going to be hunted, and they're very, very talented. They're one of those teams. They're the Lindsey Wilsons of the world, which Lindsey's a very, very talented team. They're still receiving votes. I expect them to be a possible top 20. But this is the type of team that's dangerous every night because they can put that ball in the basket on any given night. They can beat anybody in the country with the system, with the style they play.
Before I let you go, Coach, he said he likes this time of year when it's nothing but eat, sleep, and come play or practice basketball. How's that fit for your squad? You like that as well?
I love it. Players, I don't know. You don't know. Every year's a little bit different. 2 years ago, this was such a big stretch for our team. This is where I thought this is where we really came together, and there's some extra time to get skill work, and there's some extra focus time. But then on the flip side, there's some extra, just extra time, and you break your routine. And we were in a really good routine. Sometimes you like your routine to be messed up. You need that. We were in a pretty good rhythm. I don't know that we needed to get our routine broken. So I love it from a coaching standpoint. You love it from the players because you can get some extra work in. But there's just the anxiety of, are they going to bed at the right time? Right? Are they eating, taking care of themselves the right way? More time on the phone and the video games. I don't know if that's good or bad. And then you worry too. We've got a little bit of a longer break this year than we've ever had. So you worry our guys looking more ahead to going home. I think it's a little. My favorite time is when we come back from Christmas break because you get engaged, you got a game, and then you're in conference. And it's just that's my favorite time of the year. And then you got to worry about the classes kicking back up. So we'll talk about this in the middle of January and see if I liked it or not. So I think it's kind of like us playing first on the road, right? I don't. As long as we do well, I'll love it. But we'll see how our guys handle this.
Good luck tonight.
I appreciate you, brother.
That's head coach Ryan Arrowood, his team at home tonight to take on the Cavaliers of Montreal College. Stay with us. The starting lineups and the opening tip are next. This is Rio Basketball from Stretch. Final notes of our national anthem as we get back to the New Oliver Arena and get ready for the start of our game tonight. I'm going to say we would have the starting lineups via our wireless microphone, but as things tend to do, it dies literally right before we need to turn it up and go on the air. So we will do the introductions of the starting lineups tonight. For Montreat, it'll be Chris Moore at one guard, a 6'2 senior out of Wadley, Georgia. 3 points, 3.4 rebounds per game. Joined in the backcourt by Jordan Mays, a 6'3 senior out of Sandersville, Georgia. 17.8 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per contest. Jack Keller at another guard, a 6'4 senior out of Houston, Texas. 16.3 points and 3.8 rebounds per game. R.J. Manganiello, a 5'10 sophomore guard out of Houston, Texas. 10.3 points, 4.3 assists per game. And then I guess as close as they have for the a post player, so to speak, is A.J. Baskerville, a 6'5 freshman out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, averaging 14.7 points and 10.1 rebounds. They kill the lights as they introduce the Red Storm. And the lineup for Rio goes this way. Again, Trey Robertson out of the lineup, so Aiden Porter gets one of the starting nods at guard, a 5'11 sophomore out of Proctorville, Ohio. 3 points per ball game. Joined in the backcourt by Eric Butler, a 6'4 senior out of Orlando, Florida. 14.7 points, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists per game. You've also got at guard Jalen Johnson, a 6'5 redshirt junior out of Fairmont, West Virginia, 15.9 points, 6.1 rebounds per game. And then the forwards are Milan Square and Kalen Lasisi. Square is a 6'6 graduate senior out of Youngstown, Ohio, 9.9 points, 5 rebounds per game. And Lasisi is a 6'6 junior out of Paris, France, 4.8 points and 7.1 rebounds per game. Turn the lights back up and see if they can blow the speakers, and we're ready to go. Rio tonight in the There we go. Having audio problems too. Why not? Go big or go home. Rio's in the white, trimmed in black and red, black numerals, black lettering. The names on the back of the jerseys, Rio Grande across the front. And for Montreat, they are in the navy blue with gold and white trim. Rio wins the toss, and we're underway. Right side, that's Eric Butler. He looks down, and that's Milan Square, who tries to back down the defender, turns and shoots over him, misses short, and it's rebounded by Chris Moore for the Cavaliers. Jesse Joseph, our referee tonight, Andrew Murray and Matthew Stewart, the umpires. That's Manganiello with it, being guarded by Porter. Handed off. Jordan Mays driving in and in traffic, puts it up and in. First points of the night belong to the Cavaliers, and they lead 2-0. Porter on the right side with it. Dribbling on the wing, now takes it underneath. Fires, or tried to fire it out front, but threw it right in the hands of Jordan Mays. Here come the Cavaliers. Mays out front for a three. It is off the mark short, and the rebound is taken away by Rio and Porter. Porter will bring him into the front court with a left-handed dribble up the left side. He bounces up high to Lasisi. Lasisi back to Porter. Porter working from left to right. He finds Johnson for a three ball that's good. Jalen Johnson, his first points of the night. Rio's first of the night. And the Red Storm in front 3-2. Mays goes to Baskerville. Now it's back in the hands of Jack Keller. Keller on the move, spinning in the lane. The fade and fire over Butler is up and in. Jack Keller has his first points. And the lead swings back in favor of the visitors, 4-3. 17:53 and counting, first half. Porter to Butler. Butler works the left side. Picked up by Keller defensively. Now they switch off, and it's Baskerville in his face. He shoots over top of him, misses. Lasisi, the offensive follow, no good. And they fight for that miss, and the rebound is off Lasisi out of bounds. It'll belong to Montreat. We mentioned in our pregame with Coach Arrowwood the fact that Montreat is playing is a victory in itself. Of course, Hurricane Helene, they were in that area of North Carolina that was inundated and pretty much lost about everything. Here's Manganiello in the lane. His jumper's up and in. The gym that Rio played them in last year essentially is gone. And they have, even on home games, had to travel to play. Here's a three by Milan Square on the right wing, and he dials long distance, and Rio ties it up. Square's first points. Out front with it, Manganiello directs traffic, and then he sends it off to Baskerville for a left wing three. It's off the back of the iron, no good, and rebounded by Rio. Taken away by Eric Butler. He runs it into the front court, and then Manganiello knocked it away, but Butler got it back. Johnson open in the corner for three. Too strong. Butler, the offensive rebound, in traffic, put it up, no. Johnson, the follow, won't go, and it's rebounded by Montreat, taken away by A.J. Baskerville. On the move is Baskerville, and with the left hand off glass, nifty move, and he puts it up and in, and Montreat wants a timeout. It's a 30, so we'll keep it here. R.J. Baskerville now with, or that was his first two. I apologize. AJ. I'm getting my RJs and my AJs mixed. It's AJ Baskerville and RJ Manganiello. I'll be all right. Rio ranked 23rd in the country as they enter play tonight. Of course, they're 9-1 in their last 10 and 5-0 in their last 5. They lost to Bethel, Indiana, in their season opening game and haven't lost since. They've won 9 in a row. Montreat 6-4 in its last 10, 3-2 in its last 5. And coming off their last game that counted was a win over St. Andrews, 110-83 on December the 4th. Their last game was actually last Saturday, an exhibition against D1 UT Martin, which they dropped 112-60. All right, out of the timeout. It is Rio basketball, and Butler has it knocked away, or Johnson has it knocked away and stolen by Moore. They feed underneath. Mays can't get it to go. The rebound tipped out front and controlled by Manganiello. Manganiello off to Baskerville, who drives and off balance, off glass, throws it up, no good, and Jalen Johnson up high for the rebound for Rio. Johnson on the left wing, out front to Square. Right side, Porter. Right corner, Butler. 3-ball in the air is short. Follow your shot, young man. He didn't initially, and it's rebounded by Baskerville for the Cavaliers. 15.5 to play in the first. Montreat by 2, and with the basketball, Keller. Right side 3, good. Jack Keller has 5, and that is the extent of the lead for the Cavaliers, 11-6. Rio quickly into the front court. Porter, a left side 3-ball. Front of the iron won't go. Johnson, the offensive carom, drives, put it up, no. And rebounded by Montreat and Baskerville. He outlets to Mays. Mays runs it up the right side, then finds the trailing Keller. Keller into the lane, now pulls back at the top of the key, looks to the corner. And now it ends up back out front into the hands of Mays, and he buries the 3. And Jordan Mays gives Montreat an 8-point lead. They have run off 8 consecutive points. Rio in bad need of a bucket. Here's Porter out front, looking. Into the lane it goes to Lasisi. Better get out of there. And here's a 3 put up by Johnson on the right side. Good. Jalen Johnson gives Rio a bucket it desperately needed. 14-9, Cavaliers by 5. 14-15 to play in the opening half. Driving is Manganiello. In traffic, he throws up a wild shot out of bounds, and apparently it was blocked out of bounds by Rio. That'll get us to a media timeout. It comes with 14:05 to play in the first half. It is 14-9. Montreat leading Rio, and we'll return with more in a moment. Well, regardless of what you see on the scoreboard and on the screen, which are tied together, it is 14-9 is the score. Jalen Johnson with a couple of threes for Rio. Milan Square's got one. The live stats are correct. Might be an iPad issue down there that they are working on. It might be operator error. Now they got the 3 points back up on the board. It will be Montreat basketball. Out of the timeout, they lob it in, and the big man is in the game to make the catch. That would be Dylan Barnwell, 6'9", and he's a hoss, a sophomore out of Weaverville, North Carolina. Mays beats the shot clock and puts it up and in. He's got 7. It is 16-9. Ethan House is in for Rio, the hero from Wednesday night's win at Midway, senior out of Montrose, Australia. Underneath, they feed Milan Square. Turnaround jumper with the right hand up and in. Square has 5. And the Montreat lead sliced to 5 at 16-11. We mentioned House in the game, a 6'3" senior out of Montrose, Australia, 7.4 points per game after the career-high 19 at Midway the other night. Mays fires up a 3 that is off the mark, and the rebound is out of bounds to Rio. Butler will leave, and Jalen Fox will check in. 9.6 points, 5.9 rebounds per game for the 6'5" junior out of South Haven, Michigan. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 blocked shots down at Midway the other night. House on the left wing gives up the 3, drives in, layup, good. Ethan House, his first points of the evening. And it's a one-possession game as Rio is back within 3 at 16-13. Baskerville to Keller. And now to Mays driving. Mays gives it up. Baskerville on the right wing. That was actually Mike Wade who is in the game and not Mays. They feed underneath to the big man, Barnwell, and he puts it up and in. Dylan Barnwell makes it 18-13. Lasisi hands to Porter. Porter goes to House. And we get a foul away from the basketball. A.J. Baskerville, his first, the first against Montreat in the half. Baskerville will leave. Moore will return. They've also got in there Lawrence Cole, 6'2" freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey. Fox lobs it into House. House finds Square in the lane from the left elbow, no good. And Keller has the rebound for the Cavs. Here they come on the run, leading by 5. Keller with it. He caught that like he was going to pull up from 4-point range. He instead will settle for a 3-pointer that's no good. Rebounded by Porter. It's 1-on-3. Aiden better wait for help, and he got nudged from behind by Lawrence Cole. It'll be the first on Cole and the second on Montreat. Rio will get a substitution in. And Johnson will check in. Square will check out. They get the shot clock set. Fox will inbound. Does so to Porter. Porter bounces up high to Lasisi. Kalen a couple of dribbles, then back to Porter. He drives the baseline, kick it out to Johnson. Johnson to Fox, who pulls the string on a three ball, misses to the left, and it's rebounded by Chris Moore for Montreat. Send it out front. Cole for a long three, bullseye. Lawrence Cole from distance. And it's a an 8-point Montreat lead, 21-13 on the drive. As House moved along the baseline, it looked like Barnwell got him. Barnwell's first, team's third. Porter will leave, and Eric Butler will check back in. Rio down 8 with 11:19 to play in the opening half. Butler will inbound just to the right of the basket on the baseline between the D and the S and Red Storm. Looking, lobbing out front to Fox. Jumper by Johnson from the top of the key is off the mark. Cole has the rebound for Montreat. On the run, Cole, coast to coast, layup good. And Ryan Arrowood doesn't like what he sees, and he calls a timeout. It'll be a 30. So we'll keep it here. Here's a look a moment ago at a little earlier, Milan Square from the right wing, a three. And then on the other end, that was a three that Keller buried from the right wing, and we got one more to show you. As jumper from deep for three, and a little look at some of the action that has already taken place. Montreat leading by 10. It is their largest lead. Previously, they led 14-6. Rio got it to within 3, but they've now run off 7 in a row to lead by 10 as we go under 11 to play in the first half. Driving is Johnson to the rack, and he put it up and in. Jalen Johnson gets Rio back within 8, 23-15. Quickly on the other end, shot put up no good by Mays. It was blocked. He got his own rebound. He missed again. Rio the rebound. Here they come the other way. Here is Square for 3. He put it up short, and it's rebounded by Montreat. Taken away by Chris Moore. 10-20 and counting first half. Montreat 23, Rio Grande 15. Moore to Lowe, or to Cole rather. Now here's the big guy, Barnwell underneath, and he's a load to handle, and Rio couldn't on that particular trip, and Dylan Barnwell has his second field goal, and it's back to a 10-point lead, 25-15. Johnson between the rings, trying to use Square as a screen. He drives, he misses with the finger roll layup, and Barnwell has the rebound. Barnwell is built like a barn. He's a big old boy. Milan Square tasked with hanging with him at the moment. Out front, it is a 3. Put up by Cole, no good. Rebounded by Rio and Butler. Eric runs it up the floor with a left-hand dribble, takes it all the way around Barnwell, and he put it up and in. Little coast-to-coast action for the senior out of Orlando. The Rio lead is 8. Or the deficit, rather, is 8, 25-17 as we approach 9 minutes to play in this opening half. Out front, that's Mike Wade with it. Now off it goes to Mays. He fires a 3. It's up and in. They like to shoot the three, and tonight they're hitting them in addition to shooting them. Here's House driving, layup no good, and he draws a foul. Montreat averaging 8.8 threes per game. They've already hit 4. Foul is on Cole. It is his second. It's the team's 4th, and that'll get us to immediate timeout. It comes with 8:41 to play in the opening half. Montreat 28, Rio Grande 17. This is Rio basketball from Stretch Internet. Old wall. What happened to the commercial? (28-17), Montreat in front. They're shooting 55% from the floor. Rio shooting just 33% at the moment. Only 2 turnovers of the game belong to the Red Storm. They've out-rebounded Rio 13-11. Ethan House will go to the free throw line. He's 75% on the season, 6 out of 8. And his first one here is up and in. Rio with some work to do tonight if they are to emerge victorious. Down by as many as 11 here in the first half. House hits them both to get them back within 9. Approaching 8.5 minutes to play before the half. Keller fires a long 3 off the mark. Fox the rebound for Rio. Outlets ahead to Butler, who runs it into the front court. Now back to Fox between the rings. Branson Kopus in the game, the freshman out of Seaman, Ohio. 3.8 points per contest. He bounces it off the square. Down to 13 on the shot clock. Driving is Butler. Now a step-back jumper on the baseline. Good. Eric Butler has 4. 28-21. The Red Storm back within 7. 7:50 to play on a rolling clock here in the half. Manganiello hands to Keller. Keller sends it off to Xavier Thornton, who's into the game, a 6'3 junior out of Anderson, South Carolina. He pulls up his dribble. Goes back to Keller. Keller with 4, with 3, with 2. And there's a 3 put up at the horn by Thornton, no good. Rebound down to Butler for Rio. Into the front court, Eric looking to drive toward the rack. He does. He puts it up. No, the rebound is taken away by the Cavaliers. Pulled down by Mays to Manganiello in the corner. Shot put up by Thornton won't go, and Fox has a rebound for Rio. Red Storm another chance to take a bite out of the apple. Fox on the move to the rack, throws one up off glass and scores. Jalen Fox, his first 2 of the night. And Rio's within 5 at 28-23. They've scored 6 straight. Manganiello out near the timeline, dribbling the ball away as the shot clock reaches 15. He now sends it off left side to Baskerville. Baskerville drives, nobody cut him off, and he shows them why they should have. An authoritative one-handed slam. The Red Sea parted, and A.J. Baskerville ran through. Here's a 3 on the right side by Butler. It bounces away, and Mays high into the air for the rebound. Off to Manganiello. Manganiello finds the trailing Keller for a 3, and that's good. And just like that, all the ground that Rio had made up is gone. They're back down 10 as we go under 6 to play in the opening half. Kopus on the right side, out front to Butler. Back to Kopus, being guarded by Mays. He dumps down low to Square. Square being bodied up by Thornton. He turns and shoots over top of him and scores. Milan Square has 7. And it's 33-25 in favor of the Cavaliers. Baskerville from the top of the key, a pull-up jumper that's an air ball. It'll go out of bounds and belong to Rio. Red Storm will check in Jalen Johnson. For Montreat, Chris Moore and Lawrence Cole will return. 5:31 to play in the half. Rio down 8 and with possession of the rock as Branson Kopus brings it into the front court and is fouled by Manganiello. Manganiello's first and the 5th against Montreat. Rio Grande yet to be whistled for a foul. I'll say there hadn't been very many. Johnson inbounds into the backcourt to Butler, who immediately draws a double team and better find some help, and he does by sending it ahead to House. House bounces it off to Johnson, who drives, lays it up no, and will draw the foul. Baskerville, I believe, is the guilty party. It is. It's his second and the team's 6th, and Jalen Johnson will go to the free throw line. Jalen 90% on the season, 27 out of 30. Redshirt junior out of Fairmont, West Virginia, 15.9 points, 6.1 rebounds per game. Has 8 thus far tonight. Give him 9. Dylan Barnwell checks back in for Montreat. One more shot coming for Johnson. Trying to get Rio within 6. And does. 33-27. We approach 5 minutes to play in the opening half. Moore to Cole. Cole underneath to Barnwell. He just muscles down on Square and puts up a shot that won't go, and Milan got a piece of it. First foul against Rio tonight. It comes with 4:58 to play in the half, and it comes just in time for a media timeout. 4:58 to play in the opening half as you get a look. 4:58 to play in the half. Montreat leading 33-27. We're back in a moment. Back here at the New Oliver Arena with 4:58 to play in the opening half. It's Montreat 33, Rio Grande 27, and Dylan Barnwell will be at the free throw line where he's just 43.5% this year, 10 out of 23. Big man out of Weaverville, North Carolina, and his first one short, no good. Bends the knees, takes aim at the second one. That one is good. So he goes 1 out of 2. And it's 34-27, a 7-point lead for the visiting Cavaliers. Here's Butler on the right wing. Driving, now cut off. He has to go to Square. Square on the left wing extended, pulls up his dribble to Lasisi with 10 on the shot clock. Give it to Johnson. Johnson looking, finds House in the corner. Ethan driving. The up and the under is no good. And there's a rebound taken away by Montreat, pulled down by Lawrence Cole. Rio an empty possession, down 7. Exactly what they didn't want. 4:15 and counting, first half. Barnwell to Moore. Moore, one dribble, and then off it goes to Mike Wade, who's back in. He gives to Keller. Keller in traffic, looking underneath. There's Barnwell, put it up and in as he beats the shot clock. They got Rio in a mismatch, and it ended up with House underneath against Barnwell, and physically that's a matchup Barnwell's going to win most of the time. Rio answers with a 3 on the other end by Milan Square. Makes it 36-30. Here's that 3 a moment ago by Square from the left side. Manganiello back in for the Cavaliers. Mays is back as well. And Barnwell out front launches a 3, but away from the basketball, we've got a foul on Rio's Milan Square. His second and the team's second. Harley Antrett, member of the women's basketball team, earning her keep as she comes out to clean the floor. Have to ask her if she does windows as well. Square leaves, and we're back to it, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Rio. Red Storm still shooting just 39%. Montreat at 51.7. 6-point lead with 3:20 to play in the half. Keller out front, a catch and shoot long 3, good. His third triple of the half. 39-30. Ethan House on the other end in the left corner. Bounces up high to Lasisi. Lasisi a couple of dribbles to Butler. Butler finds an open Fox for 3 on the right side. No good. Long rebound taken away by Moore. He's on the run. He got Fox airborne. He sends it off to Keller. Keller to Manganiello. And Manganiello a couple of dribbles, and they'll set it up with 20 on the shot clock. 39-30. Cavaliers by 9 with 2:40 to play in the half. Up high, Manganiello down to 8 and 7 and 6 on the shot clock. Manganiello driving on Lasisi. He stops. He kicks it out. Mays an open triple. No good around the ring. Barnwell, the offensive rebound, feeds to Mays, cutting to the basket. No good, and a foul whistled on Rio. Jalen Fox picks up his first, team's third. 2:24 to play as it'll be Mays at the line on the season, 75%, 54 out of 72. Senior out of Sandersville, Georgia. Put it up, rattles around, falls through. Averages 17.8 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists. He extends that lead back to double digits. And back to its largest of the night at 11. Every time Rio makes a run to cut it down, the Cavaliers build it back up. Here's Butler into the front court, off to Johnson on the left wing. Johnson into the lane, kick it out to Fox. Fox driving toward the hole, shoots over 2 defenders, contact, no call, he misses. Rebound, Manganiello. Manganiello going to stop and shoot a 3. He got knocked down, but he hit the 3 anyway. And Rio wants a timeout, and rightfully so, with 1:58 to play in the half. It is a 14-point game. It'll be a full, so we'll take it with them with 1:58 to play in the half. Montreat by 14. We return to the Newt in a moment. .158 to play in the opening half, and you see the score on the screen right now. Montreat getting a lot of open looks at the basket, and they are making the Red Storm pay dearly. Rio with a 14-point deficit and 1:58 to play in the first half as they inbound the basketball out of the timeout. Fox into the front court with it. Being pressured by Moore. Now he gives it up top of the key to Lasisi. Kalen off to Ethan House. House dribbles in the lane, kick it out to Fox. Fox now straight to the bucket. Give it up underneath to Lasisi. Missed the layup. Ball knocked around, and Cavaliers come away with it. Rio gritting and grinding for every shot that it gets, and Montreat getting a lot of open ones, just like that one as Manganiello buries another triple. (47-30). 17-point deficit with a minute to play in the half. Ethan House trying to get away from Keller, runs into a double team, gives to Lasisi in the lane. He doesn't want any part of shooting. Gives to Fox. Fox driving with the right hand around the ring and out. They battle for the loose ball, and it's off Lasisi out of bounds and will belong to the Cavaliers with 47 seconds left. Montreat will inbound in the backcourt. Keller into Manganiello. He runs it into the front court, working on Porter. Porter knocked it away, and it goes out of bounds, apparently last touch by Porter. Rio doesn't look like it's playing with nearly the level of life that they played down at Midway on Wednesday night. Like they're a step slow. Here's Keller for another right side three, no good. Rebounded out long by Porter. Porter to Fox. Fox feeds House, layup good. That's a little more like it. 47-32, 15-point lead. Down to the final 8 and 7 seconds. Here's Keller again, a wide open look. That one he doesn't get. Fox gets the rebound. Fox from out front for three at the horn, misses off the front of the iron. And halftime has come to the New Oliver Arena. The first half belongs pretty much from the outset to the visitors from Montreat. They lead 47-32. And we'll return with a look at some halftime stats and much more when we come back to the Newt in a moment. Back here at the New Oliver Arena, it is halftime, and It has been all Montreat in the first half. They lead 47-32. Randy Payton, happy to have you along on this Friday night, a rare Friday game, but in the break, that's what you sometimes get. Take a look at some of those numbers as you see them on the screen. Rio, 12 out of 34 for 0.3%. They're 4 of 11 from three-point range for 36.4%, and 4 of 4 at the foul line for 100%. Montreat, 18 out of 35 for 51.4%, 8 of 18 from three-point range, so they mentioned they were hitting 8.8 threes per game. Well, they nailed 8 in the first half, and if that don't change, it's going to get uglier than it already is. 3 out of 4 were the Cavaliers from the free throw line in the first half for 75%. Individually, for Montreat, they are led by Jordan Mays. He had 12 in the first half, 11 for Jack Keller. Then it goes down to 8 for R.J. Manganiello, 7 for Dylan Barnwell off the bench, 5 for Lawrence Cole off the bench, 4 for A.J. Baskerville, Chris Moore, Xavier Thornton, Mike Wade all played in the first half and did not score. For Rio Grande, Jalen Johnson and Milan Square with 10 points apiece. And outside of that, the rest of the team has 12 points. 6 for Ethan House, 4 for Eric Butler, 2 for Jalen Fox, Aiden Porter, Kalen Lasisi, and Branson Copas all played in the first half and didn't score. Montreat has out-rebounded Rio 21-17 in the first half. Moore had 4 to lead the Cavaliers. Rio's leading rebounder, actually a couple of them with 4 in Eric Butler and in Jalen Fox. 6 assists for Rio in the first half, 2 each for Lasisi and for Porter. 9 assists for Montreat in the first half, 2 each for Moore, Mays, Baskerville, and Manganiello. 2 steals for the Cavaliers, 1 each for Moore and Mays. Rio did not have a steal in the first half. The Red Storm had 2 blocks, 1 each for Square and for Butler. Montreat had 2 block shots, 1 for Barnwell and 1 for Moore. No turnovers for Montreat in the first half. Rio had just 2. So you can figure it out yourself. If you're a fan of old TV, you can be Kojak and put together that 51% shooting overall, 8 of those being three-pointers, and you've out-rebounded your host 21-17, and you haven't committed a turnover. Well, that's a pretty good recipe for potentially having a pretty nice halftime lead, and that's what the Cavaliers enjoy here at the break. 47-32. They've outscored Rio 16-14 in the paint. 4-2 in second chance points, 12-8 in bench points, 1 tie, 2 lead changes. Rio's biggest lead was just 1 at 3-2, and Montreat's biggest lead has been 17. That happened late in the half. They lead by 15 at the break. Yeah, if you look at it, Rio's only lead, the only lead the Red Storm had, 3-2 after a Jalen Johnson 3 about a minute and a half into the game. Milan Square hit a 3 with 3 minutes gone to tie it at 6. And the rest of this half, it has been the visitors from Montreat who have controlled things, and they enjoy a 15-point lead at the intermission. Montreat will be back in action tomorrow. They'll head on up about an hour north of here and go to Circleville, Ohio to take on former River States Conference member Ohio Christian. Rio Grande will not be back in action until next Wednesday, the final game before they get their bit of a holiday break, so to speak. Kentucky Christian will provide the opposition on Wednesday night. That's another 6 o'clock tip-off and another 5:45 airtime for us here on Stretch. The Rio women are also coming up in action. They actually, I think, late tomorrow night, and I mean late almost to the point where you would call it early Sunday morning. They'll be getting on a flight and heading to San Juan, Puerto Rico. They'll play in the Puerto Rico Classico next week, taking on Morningside College out of Iowa and Spring Arbor University out of Michigan. Obviously, we won't have the broadcast of those games. We will, however, have links to live video and hopefully statistics on our website once the folks that are running that tournament provide us with such information. It is 47-32. Montreat leading Rio Grande at the intermission. We will take a break. We will come back, and when we come back, we'll let you know what's going on inside the River States Conference. Cavaliers 47, Red Storm 32. Back to the Newt in a moment. Back here inside the Newt Oliver Arena where Montreat leads Rio Grande at the intermission by a score of 47-32. Let's take a look at what's going on inside the River States Conference, and there was actually 6 games on the schedule today, and 3 of them have already taken place. So we've actually got scores that we can update you on. Let's take a look at the standings first. Everybody now with 1 game in conference play as they head into the holiday break. In the East Division, the 3 winners, Rio Grande, West Virginia Tech, NIU East. The 3 losers, Alice Lloyd, Midway, and Shawnee State. They list the standings by your overall win percentage and the fact of whether you won or lost that first game. Rio technically tied for first, but listed first, along with Tech and IU East. Red Storm 9-1, Tech's 8-2, IU East at 5-5. Alice Lloyd, Midway, and Shawnee, they're all 0-1. In the league, as we said, Alice Lloyd is 6-3 overall, Midway 3-4, Shawnee State 3-6. In the West Division, you've got St. Mary of the Woods, IU Southeast, and Oakland City all at 1-0. IU Kokomo, Brescia, and IU Columbus all at 0-1. St. Mary of the Woods 9-2 overall, 818 win percentage. IU Southeast at 4-5, then and Oakland City at 3-5, and then those bottom 3 teams in order of win percentage. IU Kokomo 5-4 at 556. Brescia's 2-5, 286, and Columbus is winless in 11 outings, and of course, no winning percentage. Games that have taken place earlier this week and that are taking place today. On Tuesday night, it was IU Northwest over IU East at 93-80. IU Southeast defeated Campbellsville Harrodsburg 78-65. Of course, on Wednesday night, it was Rio Grande down at Midway getting a 77-59 win. Last night, Brescia knocked off Bethel, Tennessee 93-81. Games that took place earlier today. It was Grace College over IU East, 93-82. Midway, who Rio just defeated by 18 points on Wednesday night, went to Campbellsville this afternoon and beat the Tigers, 85-76. Also in action earlier today, West Virginia Tech, an 85-59 winner over Mid-Atlantic Christian. This game, of course, had a 6 o'clock tip-off. At 5 o'clock, Oakland City taking on Abraham Baldwin College out of Alabama down in Georgia, at Coastal Georgia. And then tipping off in about 12 minutes from now, those Phantoms from East-West University out of greater Chicago area taking on IU Kokomo. And I hope Grant, the SID up at IU Kokomo, had success in getting a roster from East-West, and not only getting a roster, but getting one that is accurate, because those two things normally do not coincide when you are talking about the Phantoms of East-West University. Tomorrow's schedule, Moody Bible out of Illinois takes on St. Mary of the Woods, a 1 o'clock tip-off. Oakland City will finish their trip to Georgia by taking on Bruton Parker at 2 o'clock. And Alice Lloyd on the road down in Carolina at Carolina University, the team that we saw up here at Rio during the Bebo Francis Classic. Alice Lloyd will take on the Bruins at 5:30 tomorrow. And then a little action on Monday. Welch, Tennessee will be at Alice Lloyd, 3 o'clock tip. Midway goes to Goshen, Indiana for a 6 o'clock tip. Kentucky Christian will be at West Virginia Tech for a 7 o'clock start. And then, as we said, KCU will be here next Wednesday to take on Rio in a 6 o'clock game that we will have for you here on Stretch Internet. And it will be just as tonight was, a 5:45 airtime with our pregame chat with Rio Grande head coach Ryan Arrowwood. And again, the women are in action next week as well, but it is taking place in Puerto Rico. We will not be making that trip. They will be down in San Juan to participate in the Puerto Rico Classico. They will take on Morningside out of Iowa. I'm trying to remember if they play Tuesday, Thursday, or if they play back-to-back days. But nonetheless, they'll take on Morningside. They'll take on then Spring Arbor University out of Michigan. We will have links to live video and live statistics at RioRedStorm.com as they are provided to us in the next couple of days by the tournament officials down in Puerto Rico. We are about a little over 2 minutes away from getting back at it here in Rio Grande, Ohio, as Red Storm got a lot of work to do. They trail Montreat by 15 at the intermission, 47-32. We are going to take a break. Say thanks to some of these businesses that you'll see that have helped us to be able to bring you Rio Grande athletics through the course of this 2024/25 year, and we'll continue to do so throughout the rest of this school year. So we'll thank them, and on the other side, we'll have second half action. It all comes your way in a few here on Stretch. Back here at the Newt Oliver Arena, where Rio Grande are out there taking some shots. Montreat around their bench. Getting ready for the start of this second half. We mentioned that the Rio women on their way to Puerto Rico late tomorrow night into early Sunday morning. We appreciate the help of Allie Fernandez and Lexi Woods on camera tonight. Of course, Charlotte Pilgrim, our producer engineer, cutting the highlights, calling the shots, and see if they can drum up a little bit of a Rio rally here in the second half. Not a little one, but a big one. They trail by 15 at the intermission. Montreat will go with Moore, Baskerville, Manganiello, Keller, and Mays. They're starting five. Rio, I would assume, will counter the same way. Nope. Porter, Fox, Butler, Johnson, and Square. So everybody except Lasisi. He's replaced by Fox, and here we go. Second half action underway. Montreat basketball as they attack the goal to the left as we look at it from high above the Newt Oliver Arena. There is Baskerville from the right elbow up and in. A.J. Baskerville extends the lead back to its largest of the night at 49-32, a 17-point advantage. Half a minute into this second half. Porter on the left wing, looking underneath, finds Square. Out front, Butler was open for a three. Drives in, dishes to Fox for a corner ball three that's off the mark. Rebound tapped around, though, and controlled by Eric Butler, and Johnny on the spot, he puts it up and in. 49-34. Montreal College Cavaliers under third-year head coach Anthony Behringer. On a roll here tonight as they roll into the Buckeye State. Here's Manganiello, a pull-up jumper. He left it short. It's rebounded by Rio. Eric Butler. Butler runs it up the floor, dishes it off to Johnson, takes aim at a three, off the mark. Rebound fought for, still fought for, and controlled out front by Milan Square. Square goes to Fox. He works on Manganiello, and he tried to feed it into the corner to Porter and threw it wide of the mark and out of bounds. Just the third turnover of the contest, and all three of them have been committed by Rio. We're 18 and a half minutes to go, and Montreat still doesn't have a turnover. And Coach Behringer wants a timeout. It'll be a 30. We'll keep it right here. $18:29 to play, and actually they now are going to extend it to the media, so we'll take a break as well. $18:29 to play, Montreat 49, Rio 34, and we return in a moment. $18:29 to play in the ball game. And Montreat, they led by 15 at the half, and they lead by 15 here as we get back at it early in the second half. Manganiello hands to Keller. Keller sips it from right to left to Mays, and Mays in turn gives it off to Baskerville. There's Keller to Baskerville. Baskerville into the lane, around Square with the left hand, lays it up and in. A.J. Baskerville, 51-34, 17-point lead for the Cavs. Fox out front, goes left side to Butler. He tried to lob underneath for Square, knocked away and stolen. Tell you what, Rio right now not doing a whole lot right. Keller spins in the lane and scores. Jack Keller gives them their largest lead of the night, 53-34. Into the left corner, that's Butler. Butler on the move, trying to back down Manganiello, spins and shoots over top of him and puts it up and in. Eric Butler has 8. 53-36, but the Red Storm parts, and Manganiello runs through and lays it up and in. Too easy for the Cavaliers. Rio scores on the other end. $55-38. Baskerville, they're scoring faster than I can write it down at the moment. 57-38. Montreat by 19 with 16 and a half to play. Here's Fox putting it up and in with a right hand. Jalen Fox has 4. $17-point deficit. Rio needs some stops and some buckets and copious amounts as we approach 16 minutes to play. On the move to the rack is Baskerville, turning and shooting, no good. The rebound's knocked out of bounds by the Cavaliers. It'll belong to Rio. Barnwell and Wade back in for Montreat. And for Rio Grande, Ethan House and Branson Copas check in. 15:50 to play in the game. 17-point Montreat lead. Butler to the basket. Now stops and gives to Fox in the lane for a jumper around the ring and out. No good. Rebound shot put up by Copas, blocked away by Barnwell. Johnson got the rebound, then tried to feed underneath, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Rio. 17 on the shot clock. 15:31 to play in the game. Copas to inbound. Bounces it in to Johnson, to Fox, and now to Butler. Butler knocked away, got it back in the lane. He put it up, no good. Got his own rebound, goes up strong with it, put it up, no good. Rebounded by Baskerville. Baskerville outlets to Wade. Wade ahead to Mays. Mays underneath the basket, changes hands, and lays it up and in. Jordan Mays makes it 59-40. Rio missing on the other end, and Baskerville cleans up the garbage. Grabs a rebound and sends it off to Wade, who runs it into the front court and then has his pocket picked by Johnson. Johnson 1-on-2 the other way, stopping, dishing to Copas, who fakes a three. Copas back to Johnson, who fires a three. It's off the front of the iron short, and Barnwell has a rebound for Montreat. 14:35 to play in the game. Montreat 59 and Rio 40. Red Storm won the first meeting down at Montreat last year. There's a three out front, and Fox runs over the shooter, and they'll get 3 free throws. Jalen Fox will pick up his second. For Rio, it's first in the half. It will get us to the media timeout, and we'll shoot free throws when we come back. There you see the bump and then some by Fox, and that'll send Mays to the line when we return. 14-17 to play in the ball game. It is $14-17 to play in the game. The sad but true tale, if you are a Rio fan, it's Montreat 59 and the Red Storm 40. Red Storm continuing to shoot and miss, 34.8% overall, and Montreat shooting now almost 56%. It'll be 3 free throws for Jordan Mays, who is 2 of 2 from the line today. Got 3 coming here. First one airborne, good. Guess they'll be kind of early, put the point on the board. 61-40 as he hits the second one. Lasisi back, and Fox is out for Rio. One more shot for Mays, and he hit all three of them. And the lead is 22. Pressure in the backcourt. Rio nearly turns it over. Here's House finding Johnson. Johnson off to Butler. 3-ball airborne. Off the rim, no. Rebound controlled by Mays for the Cavaliers. And a foul underneath. Kalen Lasisi with the foul. That is his first and the team's second. Cavs will inbound underneath their basket. It comes into Moore in the lane. He gives it off to Mays, and Mays trying to get away from Johnson, had it knocked away. He gets the loose ball back and then puts up a shot, and Johnson fouls it. Jalen Johnson's first, Rio's third here in the half, and Mays will go right back from whence he came, and that's the foul line. 62-40 with 13:48 to play in the game. Free throw good. Kind of quiet in the Newt right now, and quite frankly, there's not a whole lot for the home team and their fans to cheer about. Second free throw good. Mays will leave, and in will come Cole. The lead is 24. They're on a 7-0 run. 13:38 on a rolling clock left in the ball game. Out front, Johnson. He goes right side to Lasisi. He hands to Butler. Butler to House in the corner for a three, and it's up and in. Ethan House stops the bleeding momentarily, but on the other end, we get a foul whistle, and that might be on House. Yep. Ethan's first, Rio's fourth here in the half. Keller will inbound, does so to Wade. Wade looking underneath for Barnwell, and he just bulls his way in and lays it up and in. Dylan Barnwell, you better get in front of him or you're going to get run over. Like I said earlier, he's a big old boy, a hoss, if you will. 66-43. Here's Butler in the lane over Barnwell, and somehow Eric Butler twisted and contorted and got the ball to go down off glass. 66-45. Out front is Wade. He drives in, and on his way to the hoop, he's fouled by Branson Copas. First on Copas, fifth on Rio. .12:31 to play in the game. Mike Wade at the free throw line, and he has not attempted a free throw all season long. The 6-foot junior out of Burlington, North Carolina. First one's up and in. Jalen Fox back in for the Red Storm. One more coming for Wade. That one rattles around and won't fall, and Fox has a rebound for Rio. On the move into the front court, that's Fox with it out front. He goes Copus, left side three ball, way too strong. Rebound Barnwell for Montreat. One and done for the Red Storm. Trailing by 22 with just over 12 to play. Wade holding it out near the timeline. 12 minutes to play, down to 10 on the shot clock. Here's Keller spinning and now turning and shooting over top of Copus. Rebound Barnwell won't go. Rebound of that miss taken by Johnson off to Copus for a three off the side of the rim. In and out, and a rebound out of bounds off of Montreat will stay with Rio. Manganiello will check back in. RJ and AJ. Manganiello 55 and Baskerville 22. House will check in for Rio. Another substitution for Montreat. Cole will come out. Not sure if that was Mays that came back in. Or was it Wade? That was Mays, and he got beat defensively as they got the ball to Johnson. And Jordan Mays picks up his first, team's first in the second half, and Jalen Johnson will go to the free throw line. 10 points in the game, 2 of 2 from the stripe for the redshirt junior out of Fairmont, West Virginia. Free throw good. One more free throw coming for Johnson. He takes aim, he let it fly, and that one good as well. 20-point game, 67-47. Manganiello tried to go into the corner, and Fox stole the pass. 4-on-2. Here's Fox to the basket. He lost it going up out of bounds. It'll stay with Rio. Ceases to amaze me why when the kids come to the game and they run up and down the bleachers, they always run right where we're at. In the corner, there's Copus. Back out front to Fox, and we had an issue with the clock. The clock is still running, as a matter of fact. It's still running. They lost like 3 or 4 seconds off of it in trying to get the shot clock reset. And I think Jesse Joseph is going to go over and fix it. And you know what? We might get our first replay to see where the clock is. Jeff Lanham, the athletic director. We have to have this set for conference play when it begins in January. And folks, you are experiencing the first ever replay challenge, or not really a challenge. It is to go back and set the clock correctly. And I think when they are all said and done, they're going to end up sticking it at 11:18. We're going to see if our boss can handle the back and forward down there. We saw the replay come into play a couple of times during the women's game the other night down at Midway. And the officials were informed that this was a possibility, that we would have it tonight. And now it's just a matter of them trying to figure it out. Let's see what they reset the clock for. I said 11:18. Still waiting. I got 11:16 up there. And 22 on the shot clock. I'm telling you, Rio lost a couple of seconds. But you just saw history. History made at the Newt with a video review. Here's Kopus. Tried to kick it underneath to Ethan House, and speaking of kicking, it got kicked by Jack Keller. Out front, Johnson. Left side, Kopus. He fakes the three. Goes back to Johnson. Johnson going to step up and fire a three. Back of the rim, won't go. Long rebound taken by Moore for the Cavaliers. He hands to Keller, and Keller will get it to Manganiello out in the jump circle. That big Red Storm logo. Under 11 to play. 20-point Montreat lead. Manganiello to the rack. Rejected by Ethan House. Rebounded by Kopus. Now House hurries it into the front court. Finds Butler, who drives to the basket off glass. Put it up, won't go. Rebound taken away by Baskerville. He outlets to Manganiello. Manganiello will give it back to Baskerville, who attacks the basket and has it rejected out of bounds by Jalen Fox. And then the rejection actually goes off of Baskerville, and Rio will get the basketball. So a block shot and the ball. Best of both worlds for the Red Storm. 10:20 to play in the game. Montreat by 20. Here's Fox toward the basket, into the corner, House. House now out front to Johnson, down to 15 on the shot clock. Johnson into the lane. Open is Fox out front. He drives into the lane, got around Keller and laid it up and in. 67-49. Fox now with 6. Rio comes away with the ball on the other end. Kopus, no look pass, finds Johnson, layup good. Offense off your defense. 67-51. Red Storm chop it to 16. It's a nice start, but still a lot of work to do and time dwindling down. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Manganiello looks into the lane, finds Baskerville, left wing, open three, put up by Mays, won't go, and Fox has the rebound for Rio. Now can they get points in transition? Fox went up with it and draws the foul. I think it was Mays that hit him, and Mays may have taken the most, or the brunt of the contact. Actually, the foul's going to be on Chris Moore, but Mays is down. It's Moore's first. It's a team second. It gets us to immediate timeout. It comes with 9:12 to play in the ball game, and Montreat leading by 16, 67-51, and we return in a moment. .12 to play in the game as we come out of the timeout. And you got to look at maybe why Jordan Mays was hurt, because he got kicked on the way up. Jalen Fox will be at the free throw line. He's 68% on the season, 17 out of 25. He's got a couple of them coming here. First one's good. 67-52 with 9:12 left. One more free throw for the junior out of South Haven, Michigan. Looking for his 8th point of the night, and he finds it. Rio within 14, and that is as close as they have been in a long, he said long time. Manganiello off to Mays, into the lane. They tried to go to Baskerville, and Johnson knocked it away, and House stole it. Rio with a chance to maintain some momentum. House to the rack, lay it up, won't go, but he'll draw the foul. Now they get a little bit to cheer about. Barnwell, his second foul, the team's third, and Ethan House will go to the free throw line. Crowd has been dead because basically they haven't had anything to cheer for, and Rio making a little inroads toward chopping into that big deficit, down now by 13. House with one more coming. And around the ring and in. 67-55. Don't go away yet. Manganiello on the left wing, a double team. He goes to Baskerville, who finds Mays. Mays to Cole, who drives and off glass misses. And a foul against the Red Storm. Maybe against Jalen Johnson. Yep, his second, team sixth. And I think it will be Cole going to the line. He is 3 of 3 on the season. The freshman out of Jersey City, New Jersey. Free throw good. (68-55) with 8:32 left. That one off the mark, and Montreat runs down the rebound. Baskerville beat everybody to the corner, and they do not reset the shot clock. Boy, and then they reset it for 15. Montreat lost some seconds on the shot clock. Cole on the right side, right in front of his team's bench, being guarded by Copas. He got around him, he drives, he put it up and in. Back to a 15-point lead. Said Rio needed some buckets. They also need some stops, and they haven't gotten them on the last two trips down the floor. Here's Johnson from the right elbow, won't go. Battle for the rebound, knocked away and then saved in by Cole for the Cavaliers. To Manganiello and now to Baskerville. Back to Manganiello, to Baskerville in the right corner. Barnwell, the big guy underneath, they knock it away from him. Fox came up with the loose ball, and then it is knocked out of bounds by the Cavaliers right in front of the scorer's table. Rio will have the ball, but Anthony Behringer, the head coach, really happy with the hustle out of his team going after that loose ball. And with a 15-point lead, he won't sweat one possession for Rio, not when it comes to the way that his team hustled trying to keep the basketball. .740 to play in the game. Cavaliers by 15. Rio's giving up 70 points a game, and Montreat's already there. Here's Fox out front, working on Baskerville, gives to Johnson, catch and shoot three ball, left it short. Baskerville has the rebound. Manganiello gives it back to him, and now to Mays on the right side. Mays through the defense, lost it on the floor, and will get a foul whistle against the Red Storm. And that on Eric Butler will put his first. It's a team seventh, and Montreat will be in the bonus for the remainder of the contest. Jordan Mays to shoot the 1-and-1. He's 5 of 5 in the half and 7 of 7 from the line tonight. Picked the wrong guy to foul. Up and in. (71-55). May's second free throw. A little strong, but he got it to go down the hole. And it's a 17-point lead for the Cavaliers. 72-55, 7-10 to play in the game. Butler in the backcourt now crosses the midcourt line with a between-the-leg dribble. Looks to the right side, pull-up jumper is on the way and good. Eric Butler kind of done his job offensively tonight. 72-57. He's got 10 and a half and 14 in the game. He came in averaging 14.7. Moore to Wade, and Wade driving to the basket, had it raked away, but a foul whistled on Rio. Branson Copus, his second, team's eighth. Here's a replay. And you can see the contact that resulted in the call, and Wade will go back to the free throw line where he's 1 of 2. That accounts for his only point in the game thus far. Free throw's good. Cole will leave, and Keller will check back in. 16-point Montreat lead with 6:40 left. Free throw up. That one rolls off, and Fox has the rebound for Rio. On the move into the front court, Johnson goes to Butler. Butler working from right to left and now back right. Now he goes left, pulls up his dribble, looks right, finds Johnson. Jalen into the lane, turning, shooting, and off the mark. No good. Rebound taken away by Moore for Montreat. They come into the front court. Mays tried to explode to the basket, and he kicked it out of bounds. Went to dribble and lost it, and then kicked it out. Milan Square will check in, and Fox will check out with 6:10 to play. It is a 16-point deficit that the Red Storm face. They got it down to within 12 about 3 minutes ago, but they've only scored 2 points since. Copus into the front court, up the left side. A pull-up jumper is airborne and good. Branson Copus has his first points of the night. And it's again a 14-point game, 73-59, 5:45 to play in the game. Keller for 3 on the left wing, an open look. He couldn't get it to go down. High into the air for the rebound was Mays. He couldn't get it to follow. And Square rebounds his miss. Outlets to Butler. Butler to the rack. Layup good. Eric Butler makes it again a 14-point game. Now, as we said earlier, you need a defensive stop. Keller, they try to feed it into the lane to Moore. He gets away from House and misses, and Rio has the rebound. To Square and now to Butler. Under 5 to play. 12-point deficit. Still got time, but you need buckets and stops. Butler knocked away in the lane. He got it back. He put it up no good. They battle for the rebound. Baskerville comes away with it for the Cavaliers. Wade moves past Copus, feeds Baskerville, no good, and Butler had the rebound, and it's knocked out of bounds, and that'll get us to the media timeout. It comes with 4:35 to play in the game. Montreat's lead is down to 12, but the Cavaliers have a 73-61 advantage, and we return in a moment. (73-61) with 4:35 to play in the game. Rio shooting 37%. That's right around where they've been the entire game. Montreat's now down to 47.3%. Montreat has not hit a three-pointer here in the second half. He hit 8 of them in the first half. Turnovers and rebounds just about even. 5 for Montreat in terms of turnovers. Rio with 4. And rebounds are even, 35 apiece. But the scoreboard not even. 73-61, Montreat with the lead. Randy Payton happy to have you along on this Friday night for a little NAIA men's college basketball. Rio will inbound out of the timeout. Square gets it into Butler, and Eric starts the process of heading up the floor. Now he needs some help. And he goes to Copas, and they barely beat the 10-second violation. But they do. Copas to Butler. Into the corner. Johnson back to Butler. Johnson in that right corner, lobbing on the right block for House. House, 1-2 dribbles, now spinning, now turning to put it up. He's got to do something with it. He finds Butler, or Johnson rather, who lays it up and in, and they beat the shot clock. And it's a 10-point ball game, but under 4 minutes to play. And a steal as Wade has it taken away by Johnson, and Johnson fouled on his way to the bucket, and that'll be Baskerville who picks up his third, the team's fourth. But Rio with the ball underneath its own basket, down 10 with 3:47 to play. Copas to inbound. Looking. Finding Butler on the left wing. Butler trying to back down Mays. Butler pulls up his dribble. He goes to Square. Square to Johnson. Johnson to Copas. Down to 15 on the shot clock. House on the right block in the lane with the left hand. Spins and scores. 8-point ball game. 3:20 to play on the rolling clock. Again, you need a defensive stop. On the move is Mays. Around House, he put it up and in. Jordan Mays extends the lead back to 10. 75-65, 3:05 to play in the contest. Here's Johnson into the lane. Sends it off into the corner. Square for 3. Hit the side of the backboard with it. And on the long rebound, we get a foul whistled against Rio and Jalen Johnson. For Johnson, it's his third. For the Red Storm, their 9th, and will shoot free throws on the other end with 2:56 to play in the game. Fox will check in for Rio. Square will check out. And Baskerville will go to the free throw line. He's got 10 points in the game. Has not shot a free throw tonight. He comes in at 76.3%, 29 out of 38 for the freshman from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Put it up, put it in. Making Sir Arthur Conan Doyle a happy guy tonight. Is that a reference to the Hounds of the Baskervilles? 77-65 with 2:45 to play in the game. Butler tried to spin toward the lane and lost it out of bounds. So the Cavaliers will inbound in the backcourt. And now cross into the front. And Janello on the left side. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 2.5 to play in the game. Manganiello to Mays, who splits 2 defenders, lost the ball. It's loose on the floor. We'll get a timeout taken by Montreat. And it looks like it'll be a 30. It will, with 2:18 to play in the game. Again, we remind you, we've got men's basketball next Wednesday. It'll be Rio Grande entertaining Kentucky Christian. Final home game for either team in the calendar year 2024. The men return from the holiday break, I believe, on the 30th of December to go to Mount Vernon Nazarene. And as we already told you, the women, they'll be in Puerto Rico next week. And then after the holiday, when they come back, they head to Chicago to play in a tournament hosted by Governor State, who we saw here at the Bevo earlier. So basketball games will go silent after Wednesday until the 7th of January. All right, out of the timeout. It comes into Manganiello around Copas, and then he throws it off of Copas out of bounds. 3 on the shot clock, 2:14 to play in the game. Inbounds comes into Keller. He shoots a long one over top of House. It's for 2, but it is a dagger. Tough shot. 79-65. Johnson out front with it. Rio needs a shot now. You're down 14 with less than 2 to play. Here's Fox, a step back, long 2, off the mark, no good. Rebounded by Manganiello. Manganiello into the front court where he's picked up by Copas. Now he draws a double team and sends it off to Keller out in the jump circle. Manganiello gets it back. 15 on the shot clock, down to 1:37 to play in the game. Baskerville to Moore, then out front to Mays. 8, 7, and 6 on the shot clock. Here's Mays driving, dumping. Keller for 3, good. That might be the final dagger, as the lead goes back to 17 with but 75 seconds left, and there's a turnover. Kyan Irvin will check in along with Aiden Porter. Johnson will check out, and Butler will check out. The white flag may have been raised on this one. Barnwell will check in for Montreat. And the Cavaliers will inbound in the backcourt in front of the Rio bench. Down to the final 70 seconds. Red Storm trailing by 17. Got it down into single digits, but kind of petered out after that. Keller down to 9 on the shot clock. 50 seconds to play in the game. Here's Baskerville. Off to Manganiello. He throws up a fadeaway in the corner that's off the mark. Barnwell has the rebound and then throws it away. Fox to Copas. Copas out front to House. He bombs a 3 that's around the ring and out. Rebounded by Keller. And there is about 1 second difference between shot clock and game clock. So they can essentially run it down. Rio's win streak will come to an end, and Montreat will improve to 9-4. Down to the final 10 seconds. They may be willing to take the shot clock violation, which will come in 2, 1, and 0. And there'll be a second and a half left. And Rio will inbound in the backcourt. Urban inbounds to Porter, and that's your ball game. Montreat comes on the road, and game 1 of their two-game trek to the Buckeye State is a success, as the Cavaliers got off to a quick start, and they survive a Rio rally late. Red Storm got it to within 8 with about 3.5 minutes to go, and then did not score the rest of the way. In the final tonight, Montreat 82, Rio Grande 65. The Red Storm now 9-2 overall. Montreat improves to 9-4. Stay with us. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll look at some final numbers. I don't know if we'll have any post-game interviews or not, but we will go over the scoring, and we'll do that when we return in a moment. back here at the Newt Oliver Arena where Montreat wins it tonight, 82-65, and class act shown by Montreat head coach Anthony Behringer, who had his arm around and was talking with Rio's Trey Robertson, who, of course, missed the game tonight with a foot injury, and everybody knows what Trey means to the Rio lineup, and obviously it was something that Montreat was able to take a little advantage of tonight that Midway could not do on Wednesday night. And when all is said and done, the Cavaliers have a 17-point victory over Rio Grande tonight. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. Montreat was 29 of 59 for 49.2%, 9 of 22 from three-point range for 40.9%, and 15 of 19 from the free throw line for 78.9%. Rio 25 of 67 overall, 37%, just 5 of 22 from three-point range for 22.7%. They were perfect at the foul line, 10 for 10 for 100%. Turnovers tonight, Montreat had 8, Rio had 6 points off of turnovers, 6 each way. Montreat ends up out-rebounding Rio 39-35. Individually tonight, if we can call that up, Jordan Mays had 23 to lead everybody. He led 4 double-digit scorers for Montreat, 18 for Jack Keller, 12 for A.J. Baskerville, 10 for R.J. Manganiello, 9 for Dylan Barnwell, 8 for Lawrence Cole. Mike Wade had 2. Xavier Thornton and Chris Moore both played and did not score. Rio also had 4 in double figures, 16 each for Eric Butler and Jalen Johnson, 13 for Ethan House. Milan Square had 10. Jalen Fox had 8, 2 for Branson Copus, Aiden Porter, Kyan Irvin, and Kalen Lassisi all played tonight and did not score. Rebounding, we mentioned that Montreat enjoyed the 39-35 advantage. Their leading rebounder was Baskerville, who misses a double-double by just 1 rebound. He had 9 rebounds to go along with his 12 points tonight. For Rio Grande, their leading rebounder was Jalen Fox. He had 7. 11 assists for the Red Storm. Lassisi had 3 to lead everybody. And for Montreat, they had 13 assists tonight, 4 by Jordan Mays to lead the Cavaliers. 3 steals for Montreat, 1 each for Moore, Mays, and Keller. And for Rio, they had 6 steals, 3 for Jalen Fox. Rio blocked 4 shots, 1 each by Square, Butler, Fox, and House. Montreat had 3 blocks. 3 players with 1 each, and that would be Moore, Keller, and Barnwell. 8 turnovers for Montreat, 6 for Rio. Points in the paint, 30 points apiece. Points off of turnovers, we told you, 6 apiece. Second chance points, Montreat 6-4. Bench points, Rio outscored them 23-19. There was 1 tie. There were 2 lead changes. Rio's biggest lead came a minute and a half into the game. And as a matter of fact, it was their only lead, 3-2. And Montreat's biggest lead was 24 with 13:48 to play. That came at 64-40 after a couple of Mays free throws. Rio did manage to make it interesting. They got it down to 8 with 3:29 left after a bucket by Ethan House in the lane made it 73-65. But Rio did not score over the final 3:29. And as a matter of fact, it was Montreat that closed the game on a 9-0 run to seal the fate of the Red Storm and to seal an 82-65 win. Again, Montreat now 9-4. Rio Grande is 9-2 on the season. We will take a break. We will come back and we will reset the scene for you in what goes on with Rio Athletics in the coming days, and we'll do all that when we come back to the Newt Oliver Arena in a moment. If I can click the right button. This is Rio Grande Basketball, and it's presented by Stretch Internet. 82-65. Montreat wins it tonight over the University of Rio Grande as they snap Rio's 9-game winning streak. And after the Red Storm put all that work into finally cracking the NAI Coaches Top 25 poll that came out on Wednesday, they cracked it at number 23 and then suffer a loss tonight that it most likely will knock them out of the top 25. So more work to do, but you would rather find that out in a non-conference game than once you get into the conference schedule. We mentioned Rio is back in action here on Wednesday night. It will be Kentucky Christian that the Red Storm will host. Kentucky Christian, a team that will join the River States Conference next week. Next year rather. It is another 6 o'clock tip-off, which means we will come at you with our pregame chat with Ryan Arrowwood coming your way at 5:45. The Red Storm will then have a few days off for the holidays before coming back December the 30th. They'll be on the road at Mount Vernon Nazarene. The new year begins at Shawnee State on January the 4th, and they'll be back at home here on January the 7th to take on West Virginia University Tech in a matchup of two pretty good teams. We saw Tech earlier this year here at the Newt Oliver Arena in the Bevo Francis Classic. And again, on the women's side of things, the ladies will be in Puerto Rico next week. It'll be a trip to the Puerto Rico Classico down in San Juan. They'll take on Morningside out of Iowa and Spring Arbor out of Michigan. And then after the Christmas holiday, right before the New Year's, they will head to Chicago and will play in the Governor's State Classic, or tournament, if you will, up there. And then after that, they will also, just as I said with the Red Storm men, they will begin the new year at Shawnee State on the 4th of January and then come back home on the 7th of January against West Virginia University Tech. I would think that we are not going to have any post-game interviews to come after this one tonight, particularly after a loss and the way that it all came down. So with that said, we will wrap it up. Again, we thank our crew up here tonight, our camera folks, Allie Fernandez, Lexi Woods, Charlotte Pilgrim taking care of the engineering and producing, and we appreciate you wherever you might have been tonight, be it a Rio fan or a Montreat fan. Love to have the folks from the schools that we don't get to play a lot check in and watch our broadcast and listen to our broadcast. And they've got one more trip in Ohio, or one more game in Ohio. They play at Ohio Christian tomorrow, I believe, a 1 o'clock tip-off, and they'll be going for a perfect trip to the Buckeye State. We'll see if they can pull that off. And again, all that they went through in the preseason, the flooding that was the result of Hurricane Helene that pretty much wiped the program out, so to speak. And we mentioned in the pregame, regardless of who won on the floor tonight, it was a victory for Montreat just to be able to make it here after the, and I said it and I'll say it again, the hell that they went through, because there's still a lot of rebuilding still to do down in the Tar Heel State, and we wish those folks, all of whom suffered damage, we wish them the best in getting their lives back together, and we wish them obviously a happy holiday season. With that said, we will wrap it up. Your final tonight, Montreat defeats Rio Grande 82-65. Randy Payton saying so long for all of the gang from the Newt Oliver Arena, and we remind you as always that this has been a presentation of Rio Grande Athletics from Stretch Internet. We will talk with you on Wednesday night prior to Kentucky Christian, and until then, so long, everybody.